Hello and welcome back to the Lexico Talk Show. We are here at the Sacred Heart Parish Center for one of the last mandatory training drills for the Lexington Minuteman. I am here today with Bill Mix, who is a longtime resident of Lexington since 1980 and has maintained an international logistics business headquartered here. Over the years, he has served on several town committees and currently is a member of the Town Celebrations Committee. Bill is also a member of the Board of Directors of the Lexington Chamber of Commerce and the Lexington Historical Society. He is also a Battle Green Guide and the past president of the Lexington Historical Society. Today he is acting as the captain commanding of the Lexington Minuteman Company. Bill is also a founder of the William Diamond Jr. Fife and Drum Corporation. Hi Bill, welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Good to see you. Good to see you. And it's different than last year because last year we were in the studio, and today we're here on the set.
Yes, and here we are. So we've got our men training in the background, and you'll be able to pick up some of that.
It's great. Now, this is one of the 4 mandatory trainings that the Minuteman need to take part in.
That's correct. Yep. We have our first mandatory drill in January, and we stagger it through the time, and now this is the last one. From here, we'll go outside. And we've got some young recruits, and we'll be teaching them how to fire and also the safety that goes with firing.
With the firing. So how many new recruits do you have this year?
We've got 6 new young ones, meaning that we've lowered our age limit to, or for admission to age 16.
Okay.
So we've got 5 or 6 of those, and then we've got a couple of adults also that will be firing for the first time.
Okay. And so why don't we talk a little bit about the training? What does it entail to prepare it? It isn't just that one day, on Patriots Day. It really, takes a whole year for preparation. Is that correct?
Well, to begin with, you've got to properly learn the manual of arms. Mm-hmm. And that does take a little bit of doing. And it's just a case of anyone who's been in the service knows, but it's like just a case of repetition. You do it over and over and over again until it finally sinks in and you have it. Once you've got the manual of arms down, then from that point we can go on and take a look at the colonial dress that you're supposed to have, and then get into various field maneuvers, firing techniques, the safety that goes with musket firing and the rest. And we really stress safety, not only from the point of view of safety within our own group, but also safety with spectators that are on the sides, and also we certainly don't want to cause injury to anyone that we might be pointing a musket in the general direction of.
Yep. So you touched upon the colonial dress. Can we talk about what you're wearing today? And you've said that over the years the costumes has changed. So can you share with us what you're wearing today?
Well, what I'm wearing today is, and what all our men are wearing today, are authentic colonial garb. Don't forget that we were all civilian soldiers back in 1775, so there was no uniform. So you'll just see a whole variety of clothing out there, but it is all handmade. The buttons are either pewter, wood, could be cloth covered. Buttons on shirts, etc., would be bone, pewter.
And you have a tailor that custom makes.
We have a tailor who does a lot of it. Some of the other members may go outside to do it. With the colonial dress, it's not that much that most anybody can do it. When we get into our dress uniform, the buff and blue, then we have just one tailor, and it's all
and that's what you'll be wearing on Patriots Day?
That will be in the parade on Monday afternoon. We'll be wearing a dress buff and blue uniforms.
But during the reenactment?
Reenactment, what you see is what you're going to have.
Okay. And how long does it take you to prepare for that day in getting dressed? I mean, not witstanding the dress.
Well, I certainly wouldn't want to have to say we can get dressed in a minute. But it takes a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not like jumping in a pair of pants and putting a shirt on and getting out, because you've got stockings that come up above the knees.
Yep.
You've got a shirt that goes down almost halfway to the knees, And then you've got a few buckles and everything else. There's a lot of buttons on this stuff.
Yeah, I can tell. So why don't we talk a little bit about your character, the captain, the commanding officer. Can you share with us about that role?
Well, as captain, I take the role of Captain Parker, who was captain back then. But every 2 years we have an election, and we change officers within the company.
Oh, it's an elected official.
Oh, yeah, exactly,
Wow,
exactly.
okay.
Yeah, we don't let anyone go on forever. This isn't a lifetime tenure. So when I go back to my old life, I'll revert to Joshua Simons, who was my character. And I was fortunate when I joined the company that Joshua Simons was available, to the extent that I live on property that he owned here in Lexington. He owned some 217 acres of land in North Lexington.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm proud to be on that land. I understand that when his daughter married Rufus Merriam, he gave them a 7-acre plot of land, and I haven't investigated it, but
that's interesting.
my house may well be situated on that property.
So it all comes full circle.
Oh yeah.
So we talked a little bit about off camera that Dick Michelson is going to be on the show talking about the behind the scenes of the parade and so forth, and he really touched upon the bicentennial and how that was such a influential parade that year. And why don't you share a little bit about how that impacted the reenactment? Well,
we've been doing these reenactments since 1973, and in preparation for the bicentennial. Back then, anything that would resemble some colonial clothing is what was worn. One might take a pair of old chinos, cut them off just below the knee, get a pair of soccer socks, and now you've got breeches and stockings. But with the passing of the bicentennial, the town asked that we continue this. And so it's been continuous, really, since 1973, with one exception. Just a few years ago, we had a nor'easter come in, and we had to cancel.
That's Dick Michelson said. He's only missed 2 parades, I think, and that was one of them. Yes.
So we had to cancel that. But the clothing we wear today, as we said already, is authentic, and it's exactly what somebody would be wearing then.
When you sit here and you see all the men, it's very authentic. Yep. So let's turn our attention to the day of Patriots Day, that morning. What time do you get up, and how do you feel emotionally when you walk out onto that green?
Well, get up about 4:30. Go meet the company, have an early pancake breakfast ahead of the crowds. And
where do the Minutemen dine for their pancakes?
At St. Bridget's.
St. Bridget's, okay.
And then it's a case of going out onto the common, and the adrenaline is building up as you start walking over there, and you see the crowds and all the rest. But when you step onto that green, the crowd disappears, there's no noise, and you think about your character and what he had to go through that morning. We know the script. We know what happens. They didn't. And it was a brave group of men that indeed were standing up against 700 of the strongest and best trained army in the world.
And you can tell by really getting into your character, and all the men here getting into their character, that it really it contributes to the authenticity of the reenactment. And I think that's what makes it so special.
Yes, and the fact that we were all together on this thing. There's no one taking any exceptions, and everyone is really feeling their character.
And then for the rest of the day, you after the reenactment, you have 2 parades that you're involved in.
Yes.
Yes, it's a full day affair.
It's a full day affair. We have we start out with the morning parade, and that is in colonial kit, the way we're dressed now. once the exercises on the common are complete, we have to change into dress uniform. We have then an exercise with the DAR. We then we then go over and participate with the USS Lexington
with the
exercises there, and then we have to stand by for Paul Revere coming into town, and then we go down and get ready for the 2 o'clock step off for the afternoon parade.
Okay,
it's a full day.
It's a full day, and leading up to Patriots Day, you also have the battle at Tower Park, which is the Saturday before Patriots Day.
On that Saturday, we will start out at 10 in the morning and reenacting what took place then. Captain Parker, after his company had a lot of injuries, casualties, formed up the men and marched out to a point on the Lexington-Lincoln line in the National Park. It's on Battle Road. It's marked as the site of Parker's revenge. And this to us is the second most hallowed ground, if you like to call it, in Lexington, the Common being first, the site of Parker's revenge second, and we're working with the National Park, incidentally, to bring that area up to standards. So you'll hear a lot more about what's going on at Parker's revenge. We'll march out there. We'll have a little ceremony of dedication to those who died at that spot. And from that point on, we'll have a little bit of a skirmish with our redcoat friends. And that skirmish will go from the Parker's Revenge site down to about Fisk Hill.
Okay.
And then from there, we will go down to Tower Park and have a full-fledged
and that's a wonderful experience. I know for my son and my daughter in particular, it's nice to go down to Tower Park. It's not at 5 in the morning. It's usually
very
a nice time
at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
4 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's nice because you really get up close, to the reenactment, and that's a great experience.
Yeah, we have horses and artillery firing and all the rest of it. So there's a lot more that's going on there.
Yeah. Okay. So for people that have more information or would like to find out more about becoming a Minuteman or about the reenactment, what is a website they could go to?
Well, we have a website that's up. www.lexingtonminutemen.com.
Okay.
However, if anyone is interested in joining, we will have some recruitment stations around town on that weekend. We'll have a banner up and tables with signs on them, so you can't miss us.
Okay.
So
great.
We look forward to having a few people come in.
Wonderful.
We're in dire need of new members, so it would be great to have somebody come on board.
Great. Well, why don't you just, as we're closing, why don't you tell us a little bit about what's happening right now with the men?
Well, what they're going through right now is the manual of arms. They're also doing some practice relative to loading and firing the musket.
Okay.
Some of the commands that you might be able to hear for the loading of the muskets.
Loading of the muskets. Okay. So I think after this, we're going to head down to Tower Park, and we're going to.
After this, we'll go down to Tower Park. They'll be doing the same thing, but they're going to be doing it in the woods and out in the open, and there will be some firing, which I'm sure people will enjoy.
We'd like to join you down there.
We'd love to have you down there.
Well, thank you, Bill.
Okay.
Always great to have you on the show.
All right. Thank you, Colleen.
Thank you. So, Bill, why don't you set up what's happening now in this drill?
Well, with what's going on now, they're preparing for the ceremonies that we have in the old burial grounds.
Okay.
Following the reenactment, we march over to the old burial ground. We place a wreath on the grave monument of Captain Parker, and also one on the grave of the unknown British soldier.
Okay.
Following that, there will be a firing for each wreath placement, and then we form up to formally march out of the cemetery, and this is what we're going to be preparing in just a minute or two.
Okay, great. We'll watch you. Okay, thanks, Bill.
Much better. Shut. Hands. Rear rack. To the right about. Face. Alex, you want to be the captain?